Wow, what an incredible international convention we just had in Baltimore, Maryland. I've had so many text messages saying that was the best one ever. And I really believe it was the best one ever, not only because it was one of the biggest events that we've had, but also the energy was so good from so many associates. We blew the roof off with all of our recognition. We had so many people walk the stage as a new senior director, executive director, new executive director levels. We had so many new ring earners that we had to split them up and have half of their speeches at the ED Gala on Thursday night, the other half on main stage. The stories, the associates, the new associates especially, that stood up and told their testimonial, their story about what they've overcome to have success in their LegalShield business. Just one of the best ever, creating massive momentum here to launch into the month of May. Pay close attention today on the show because we launched our 2026 Performance Club incentive trip to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and it starts today. The qualification starts today. Let me start with the network, what we call Hit and Win. Now, let me give you a little bit of a warning, and that is, we have lots of different fun ways throughout the year that we will work with our trips to give you different opportunities to qualify, but we always launch what's called a Hit and Win. Now, it is what it sounds like. If you do X, Y, Z, you automatically qualify. Like, you don't have to compete on a leaderboard. You don't have to be on a team challenge. You don't have to leave it to fate and hope that your team finishes in the top 10. You hit this and you're on your way. So when you are making the decision, which is a decision to qualify for this trip, understand it is 100% in your control being with us in the Dominican Republic next year. So don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to a leaderboard. Don't leave it to a possible team challenge. Go out and do the hit and win. So here's what you need to do. The hit and win for the network side is 10 months, May through February. It is 15 personal recruits. I probably should put it on the board so you have it here. All right. It is 15 personal recruits and 3 of your new associates that you personally recruited fast start qualify during the incentive period. You must also personally qualify for Performance Club each month. So you have to qualify in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. And you must have a personal retention of 65% or higher when we measure March 1st, 2026. You also must write a minimum of $1,000 in new premium, which, by the way, if you have 15 new associates, that's probably a sure thing, right, during the incentive period. So you PC qualify all 10 months. You personally recruit 15 associates. You make sure 3 fast start qualify. And by the way, if you recruit 22 associates and 3 fast start qualify, that's okay. Yeah, but you have to have 3 people that you sponsor that fast start qualify, have $1,000 in network premium, and have the retention that you need. That is the hit and win. If you write that down and you do that, you are on your way to the Dominican in 2026. So how many believe you can PC qualify coming out of here every month? And if you're PC qualifying, you are getting new associates fast start qualified. That's just a fact. You're recruiting, you're getting people fast start qualified. And let me just give you one last tip on the hit and win. Even though we give you 10 months, the associates that have success and are with us on these trips are the associates that get started fast. They get started early. What you don't want is you don't want to have PC qualified all 10 months, and then all of a sudden you get to the end, you're 2 months left in the contest, you still need to get 2 people fast start qualified. It puts a ton of pressure. But if you say, hey, every 3 months, I'm going to make sure I have at least 1 person fast start qualified, or every 2 months, I'm going to make sure I have someone fast start qualified, you are on your way and you're not leaving it to chance. I would go home. I would tell your significant other, if they're not with you here, we are going to Punta Cana next year. I'm going to help us qualify. Here's what we're going to do, and get committed to this great trip in 2026. The other way you can qualify on the network side is be a Platinum Executive Director. So we had so many Platinums walk the stage, and you could be Platinum Executive Director from May 2025 to February 2026. And as long as you meet the retention requirements and activity requirements, you are on your way to the 2026 trip. So the flyers will be out immediately after this convention. Go to LS Engage, pull them down, make sure you read them carefully so you don't miss any of the check boxes, and you'll be on your way for 2026. Here's what's going to happen when you leave out of here. By the way, this came from you. We asked you, we surveyed the top 100 leaders, and we asked you, do you feel that live in-person fast start training is better for your new associate or virtual, or do you feel that virtual is a better option for your new associate? And you know the 100 top leaders in the network organization answered in the survey, 90% said they preferred an in-person fast start training class for their associates. So before we even launched this, we listened to you and said, I want to make sure we've got buy-in. I want to make sure we were on board. And then I had a lot of conversations with a lot of folks. So, leaving out of here, there will still be a virtual fast start training. We do realize that it is sometimes not practical for every single person to attend an in-person class. We don't believe it's the majority, but we don't want anyone to be left out of this opportunity. So leaving out of here, we're going to do one virtual class per day, and that's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 o'clock Central, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 8 p.m. Central, and Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. Now, you don't have to take pictures. I'm going to tell you how you can find the schedule in just a few seconds. You can take a picture, but I'm going to tell you how to find all of the classes. When you attend that Fast Start training, virtual, it will be the 3-hour version. You're going to get the same bonuses that you get today. So, for those of you going, are they going to take away virtual? Are they going to there are no takeaways here. Your associate can go to the 3-hour virtual Fast Start training, and they're going to get the same bonuses that they get today. But we're going to focus on in-person training. And I'm so excited to tell you that when I tell you where to go find the training classes, we already right now, as I stand here today, have 75 in-person fast starts on the calendar for the month of May. So, thank you to all the leaders that worked hard to organize your states, your areas, to have fast start training, your regional vice presidents, your regional managers. We already have 75s. Our goal is 100 live in-person fast start trainings every month to be plugging your people into. And so when they go live, we're going to double their fast start bonus. All right. So let me say that one more time. When your new associate goes live, we're going to double their fast start bonus. So if your new associate goes virtual, they're going to get the $200 they get today. But when your new associate goes to a live class, we're going to double the fast start bonus to $400 when they fast start qualify. On top of that, wait, there's more. When your new associate goes to an in-person Fast Start training, at the training, your trainer is going to give them what we call the golden ticket, which allows them to go to their first Super Saturday for free. And when that new associate brings that golden ticket to the Super Saturday, we're going to know who they are because they're going to put their name and associate number on there. We're going to know who their Fast Start trainer was, who their sponsor is, and we're going to do drawings every month and give away a lot of cool swag, a lot of cool prizes. And what's going to happen is when we pull that new associate's name, they're going to win, their sponsor is going to win, and the Fast Start trainer is going to win. And so we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And we're going to build a culture of in-person Fast Start training. So recruiting is up. Momentum is up. Imagine what happens to the momentum in this company when we double and triple the success rate of our brand new associates. That adds fuel to the fire as we leave here. Now, I know there's a few other questions that you may have. And by the way, when you go to our calendar of events, LegalShieldCalendar.com, or your prospect app, every single day on the calendar, you're going to see register for Fast Start. When you click that link, it will give you the directions to the full calendar of virtual classes and in-person classes. So you can easily find and register your associates. So just go to the calendar, you'll find it, you'll see the link, and it'll direct you exactly how to register your people for either of the classes. What does that mean for Advance to Manager? That means your new associate, when they attend a live in-person class, instead of a $700 bonus, they're now eligible for a $900 bonus in their first 45 days. On top of that, we gave a lot of thought about, should we keep the associate fee $49? Should we make it $99? What should we do with the associate fee? Hey, by the way, full disclosure, at some point this year, it's going up. But not today. We're going to keep it $49 as an associate fee. What about Performance Club? We're going to extend all of the good things of Performance Club. So all the ways to qualify for your bonuses personally, we're going to continue to extend the matching bonus with Performance Club, all the matching bonuses. So everything with Performance Club stays exactly the same. And then what about one last thing? There's something that is scheduled to end in April. Build Your Dream. And as much as we would have liked to extend it, Build Your Dream, because we're paying out about $400,000 a month in bonuses right now, we would have liked to extend that. But that's a lot of money to be paying out in bonuses. So we had to give it a lot of thought before we said, yes, we'll extend Build Your Dream. So for those of you that are running for your senior director bonuses, your executive director bonuses, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, matching bonuses, Build Your Dream has been extended, everyone. By the way, before you come up and ask me at the break, how long are they extending Build Your Dream? Is it working? Well, then keep it working, and I don't have to answer that question, all right? So when things are working, we like to keep them in place. If it stops working, we got to take a serious look at whether or not we end Build Your Dream, right? So keep it working, keep getting new executive directors promoted, new senior directors promoted.
Hello, LegalShield family. It's Dawn Brinkley here from the great state of California. Let's talk Performance Club. It's LegalShield's longest running incentive program, and it is a program in which you are rewarded for consistency, and it truly is the stepping stone of success. To qualify, you need to earn 150 points per month consistently. How is this done? You'll get 50 points by recruiting a new associate with a membership. You'll get 50 points by helping that new associate Fast Start qualify. You'll get 50 points if you open a qualifying employee group. and every dollar of premium sold is a point. On month 3 of consistently staying in Performance Club, you will begin to receive a $200 bonus, and it will be every month until month 11. Then you earn even more money. It goes to $300, $400, $500. Also, if you are a senior director or above, you are eligible for a matching bonus for every bonus recipient in your organization that's within their 3 to 11 month period. That is truly exciting. So now let's celebrate those who are getting their PC bonus for the very first time, and those who are senior director and or executive director and above who are receiving a matching bonus.
Hi, LegalShield family. I'm Nancy Chaconis, and I'm excited to shine a spotlight on our newest Fast Start qualifiers, those rock stars who got paid and promoted in their first 20 days. But that's not all. Let's also celebrate the associates who leveled up to manager within their first 45 days. What an amazing accomplishment. So let's all drop some love in the chat for these go-getters who are taking action and growing their business. Huge congratulations to you all.
an honor and pleasure it is to stand up here before all of you today. There's been a lot of amazing recognition, and I'm not going to talk about that. Today, I want to connect with all of you because there's something that all brings us together. Just a girl from Paterson, New Jersey, at the age of 11. Jersey! Actually, let me back up a little bit. Have you ever felt like you were made for more, but life just kind of kept throwing you punches left and right, and you were like, how is this gonna work for me? That was me a lot of my life. At the age of 11 in Paterson, New Jersey, I was diagnosed with a medical condition called PCOS. It actually affects a lot of women. But at that young age, I didn't know what it meant to live with that. And because of it, I was bullied, I was teased, I was picked on, and it impacted the way that I saw myself, the value that I did not have for myself, the lack of self-love, and that carried on with me through adulthood. I don't know if anybody in this room can relate to that. But because of that, I started to look for love in all of the wrong places. And at the age of 25, I got into a relationship that I knew quickly I didn't need to be in, but it was better in my head to be with someone than to be alone. From that relationship, mental abuse, verbal abuse, you name it, it was there. But what I wasn't prepared for when I finally decided to walk away from that relationship was a week later, and I'm gonna kind of skip some things here because we gotta go a little quick. My medical provider called me and told me they scheduled an emergent appointment and they needed to see me. And what I wasn't prepared for was to hear the words that you are HIV positive at the age of 25. So here I am, another medical diagnosis, something heavily stigmatized, something in my head that I would be bullied, teased, and picked for. For me, it wasn't a life I, in that moment, would have chosen for myself. And so 3 days later, I attempted to take my own life. I share that with you because we all see the glory, but we don't know the story, family. Thank you. We all face challenges. If there's anything that we can all relate to, it's a feeling and an emotion of depression, whether it's suicidal ideation, lack of belief, lack of self-worth. Family, we've all been there. The people that you see in the front row at one point in their lives have been there. Maybe some days they still have those days. They're just normal people. I share my story, this story, because I want you all to know again, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. We don't know what people have gone through, but I want you to know that if you commit to yourself, investing in yourself, anything is possible if you believe. And so I want you to remember that during the darkest storms, that's when the rainbow gets to shine the brightest. In the book, I'm gonna get a little biblical for a second, but God says when we are weak, He is made strong. And so I am grateful for His strength. Thank you so much, family.
Lord have mercy.
Now I'm going to highlight some of the main features of your Prospect by LegalShield mobile app. The first thing you're going to want to do is download the mobile app to your mobile device. You can download the app by going to the App or Google Play Store and searching by Prospect by LegalShield or scanning the QR codes here on the screen. The first section of the mobile app that I'm going to cover is the Tools section. This is the resource library of all tools available for you to share with your prospects. Some of the most important links here on your Tools section are your enrollment links. This is to your marketing site and the LegalShield mobile app share link. You can manage the resource categories on the app by dragging and dropping, as you can see here on the screen. This is going to rearrange the categories in your Tools section. You can also favorite resources available in the app by simply clicking on a resource, then clicking on the heart option to add that resource to your favorites list at the top of the resource section. In addition to scrolling through all the great resources, if you click on the See All option, you're able to see all resources available in that category. Now let's talk about managing contacts. First, we're going to create a custom contact list. This allows you to easily manage your contacts. To create a custom list, you're going to go to Create a New List, enter a new list name, and click on OK. Once you've created a new list, you can click on the list and go to the plus option to add contacts. Select the contacts that you would like to add to your custom list and click Done. You can see the contacts have been added, and you can then click the text message or email options to send a group text or a group email to everyone in your contact list. You can easily filter your contact list by going to the filter option, and you can filter by newest to oldest, oldest to newest, recent activity, first name, last name, and by the custom list that you have created, and then you can click on apply to apply that. Going to a specific contact, you see all activity of the resources that you have shared and all the engagements. You can easily add reminders by swiping right. On the profile option, you see all information about the contact, and then in the notes section, you can see any custom notes you've added. To add or edit notes, you'll go to the edit option and scroll to the bottom. There you can edit notes or add new notes for the contact, then click Done. In the feed section, you're going to see every activity taken by you and also every activity of your prospect. You can swipe right to set reminders and visit the reminders list to easily work those reminders in a list. You can click on a contact in that reminders list and share content and follow up effectively. And then go back to your reminders list and swipe right to mark the action done. This makes it easy to have an easy-to-use reminders list that you can work on a daily basis. You can also add custom reminders by going to the plus option and selecting a date and time for that reminder. Moving to the event section, you have the ability to select any event, go to the share option in the upper right, click on share, and share that event on social with a contact, or you can copy the link. I'm going to share it via text message. I'm going to customize that message and send it via text. It's really simple. Moving to the More section of the app, I'm going to go to Learn. In the Learn section, you're going to see the Associate Product Training, Prospect App Training, and Associate Skills Training. The Prospect App Training is going to provide you with a training course on great short videos on how to use the Prospect app. So if you need a refresher, please check out that section of the app to learn more about how to use this Prospect app. Going to the business section, you have links to LS Engage, Associate Office, and Fast Start. You can see the link to LS Engage here. Going to my profile, I'm going to update my marketing language, updating from US to Canada. This is going to update the tool section in the app to show Canadian resources I can share with my Canadian prospects. And going back to my profile and marketing language, I'm going to update to the US market and select the Spanish language to see the tool section of all Spanish-related materials that I can share with my prospects. And that is a quick walkthrough of the Prospect by LegalShield mobile app.
Like the wind said, look, that's not wait. Like you could wait time to engage, but why not do it now? So I know we teased. I didn't do anything. I know we teased.
Go! Hey! All work and no play makes Darnell a dull boy. So we're gonna go and have some fun in New Orleans, guys. New Orleans.
So, hey, look, no need to prolong the announcement. We are in New Orleans, Louisiana, 2026, baby. Let's go. Let's double this. Double this. It's each of us brought one person. We can double the size of this room. Are you all with me? I don't think, are you with me?
Hey, what's up, LegalShield family? This is Marcus Twine here, Houston, Texas, and I'm excited to introduce this next segment where we're going to celebrate all of those who are at the top of the Bonus Buster Leadership Board. Guys, I'm very blessed and thankful. I love this board. I don't know if you guys look at the other boards, but I love looking at this board because we get a chance to celebrate all of those who are getting bonuses. Any type of bonus. Could be a PC bonus. You help somebody level up to senior associate manager. Any bonus, your name gets added to this board here. So it's not too late to qualify to put your name on this board, guys. So let's take a minute and we're going to celebrate all of those who are at the top of the Bonus Busters Leadership Board. All right, let's go run the play. Let's get it.
I am so honored to be asked to share my story with everyone. Thank you, LegalShield, for allowing me this opportunity. I was born and raised in Ohio, 2 months premature, to a 16-year-old girl who gave me life under the most difficult circumstances. I spent my first 3 months in the NICU unit fighting to survive. And on the very day I was finally released from the hospital, tragedy struck. My mother was murdered. From that moment, life became a whirlwind. I was placed in foster care until before my second birthday. That's when my great aunt and uncle at ages 45 and 58 opened their hearts and their home to me. They already had 5 adult children, some families of their own. The youngest was 19 years older than me, but they chose me. They raised me as their own. For that, I will always be grateful. To me, they are my mom and dad. At 21, I moved to Seattle, Washington, where my journey took unexpected turns. I became a mother, and in the search of community and purpose, I joined a church. What I thought was a place of faith turned out to be an occult that preyed on vulnerable single mothers. They arranged my first marriage, a marriage where I was treated not as a partner, but as a slave and a trophy. For 8 long years, I endured abuse on many levels. But even in the darkest times, God gave me light, my 2 beautiful daughters. Then came a season of unimaginable loss. In 2013, I lost all of my siblings in 21 days. The same November, my mom passed away. Just 3 months later, my dad followed. His heart broken after more than 60 years of marriage. And yet, the storm continued. I endured 2-year painful divorce that left my children and me homeless. 2 months later, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. My world crumbled further when I lost custody of my kids, compounding grief and pain. But you know what? I wasn't finished. I refused to let that be the end of my story. In June 2020, I stepped into the financial industry. I was determined to rebuild not only my life, but my legacy. I started repairing my credit, going from a 524 to an 850, and then turned around and helped others do the same. Over 20,000 people, y'all. That chapter taught me the power of resilience, knowledge, and service. About 2 years ago, I rededicated my life to Christ, and that's when God brought someone special into my life, Dr. Reedy. Neither of us knew at that time, but she would help guide me through the biggest battle of all, fighting for my life. She introduced me to LegalShield, and that introduction changed everything. To me, LegalShield isn't just a company. It represents sincerity, authenticity, and real family. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I've come home, right where I belong. In my time with LegalShield, I've been blessed to hit platinum position in 3 consecutive months, helped 5 people achieve executive director, and I'm telling you, baby, I just started. My name is Bonnie Roberts from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I'll see you at the top. Thank you, and God bless.
We're going to do something called super regional events. And so like mini conventions, because how many of you all don't want the new folks you introduce next month to have to wait until April of 2026 to experience this? We want to build into that so that we have 10,000 people at a international convention. And then 20,000, but to do that, you've got to set up mini conventions. So we're doing some super regionals. Y'all ready? So we're doing some super regionals. And so that way you don't have to wait. And the very first super regional we're doing is Houston, Texas, baby. H-Town in the house. H-Town. So look, check it out. Cards down, 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 down. I'm not going to do the fan, though. Pop, pop. I'm like, no, that's not happening. But the first, now look, check this out, because some of y'all are like, man, it's all about Houston now. Listen, my resident, we have a second resident in Houston, so we still have our house in Maryland. But guess what? I said Maryland so much, money-making Maryland, you felt like you had to say you were from money-making Maryland even when you weren't. We used to have a team come across the stage and say, I live in Florida by way of money-making Maryland. They never even lived in Maryland, but we branded it that way. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. I'm going to show you how to build real quickly. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to go through this and show you how you can get registered for the regionals to get your teams out. So if you're not saying, if he says Houston one more time, I promise you, I'm going to walk out of this arena, then I'm not branding Houston the way I'm supposed to be. Hey, look, if I'm from Idaho, I say, look, there's 3 reasons why McDonald's and Five Guys gets their potatoes from Idaho. And those same 3 reasons why you should be building in Idaho. Like, I don't know what those, I just made that up. But my point is, that's how I promote Idaho. Wherever Darnell's self and Tracy's self moves next, because we're empty nesters. I don't know what 2026 holds, but wherever we go, you best believe I'm gonna promote it just like I'm promoting Houston right now, baby. So I've been money making Maryland for 25 years in LegalShield.
And now everything you're gonna hear out my mouth is about H-Town, it's about Houston. Now, Houston doesn't have to be the best market, but out of my mouth, you're gonna feel like it's the best market. This is how you promote, guys. You can't say, oh yeah, we're doing a little something. Listen, everybody I've been recruiting in Houston are 35 years old and younger, because I'm intentional about it. I'm casting a vision for the 35-year-olds. I'm saying, man, let me tell you about what happened to me at 28. It was the worst time in my life, financial time. By 35, everything had changed. I'm looking to do that all again in the state of Houston. Look, state of Houston. So just want you guys to know, we're doing a super regional in Houston. We want you to be there. But if you can't be there, you want to send your folks out to Houston. In fact, I wouldn't even wait to send your folks out to Houston. If you know what I know, and even if you don't know what I know, Houston's going to create more millionaires than any city in all of LegalShield. Look, some of y'all, see, if I didn't make you mad just now, I ain't doing my job branding myself and branding the city that I live in. You guys get what I'm saying? I'm supposed to make you feel a little uncomfortable. Look, if you're not talking about your team, look, Mr. DaCosta talked about Gotham City. That's how I promote New York. I love it. So, we're going to be in Houston, Texas. That's the first event that we're doing. Then we're doing another event in Indianapolis, Indiana. Then we're doing another event in Anaheim, California. Then we're doing another event in College Park, Money Making, Maryland. So we have 4 big events that we're doing, guys. And look, you shouldn't go to one. You should go to all of them. If you want a master's degree, you can't just go to one semester. You have to go over and over and over. This is how you get the bigger picture. This is how you see the bigger picture. This is how you start building leverage. This is how your folks going to hear business solution stories. This is how your folks going to hear networking stories. This is how your folks going to see the bigger picture. We're going to create more ring earners in the next 1 year than we haven't in the last 10 years. Watch what I say. Words have power. Listen, get yourself registered. I look forward to seeing y'all in H-Town in the rest of the events.
So imagine a seed. There's nothing special about it. Most are overlooked. They're tiny and they appear to have no significance until you take that seed and you bury it. You see, inside every seed is the potential for something amazing. But it has to go through this process called germination, okay? That doesn't happen until after it's buried. It absorbs water, it expands, and then something unique happens. It explodes, breaking through its outer shell, and then it begins to grow. You don't see the growth at first because it takes place in the darkness, underground where it was buried. But when the environment is conducive to growth, that seed breaks forth from the earth, and then you take notice as it breaks up above the ground and it flowers and blooms and reaches its full potential. Just like a seed, I grew up in the inner city of Gary, Indiana with a lot of potential. But I felt buried from the kids that bullied me, buried from the father who left me. My self-esteem was crushed before I even knew what self-esteem was. And just like a seed, I felt like I was in the dark, unseen, unheard, and unimportant. And as I grew older, life just kept lifing. And just like a seed pushed beneath the soil, I began to suffocate a little bit. And all I felt was pressure and pain. I felt it when I was kicked out of high school. I felt it when I flunked out of college. I felt it when I buried my father. I felt it when I lost a job. I felt it when I experienced divorce. I felt it when my car was repossessed, all 3 times. I felt it when I was evicted, all 10 times. I felt it when I had to bury my youngest child. So I turned to substances that could give me a quick escape. I just wanted to numb the pain, y'all. But all it did was add more weight, more darkness, more dirt on top of me. But here's the thing about a seed. It doesn't grow in spite of the dirt. It grows because of it. In March of last year, I began my LegalShield journey. And I began to feel something that I had not felt in years. I felt hope, y'all. I found mentors. A shift began to take place on the inside of me, like water soaking into dry soil. And after finding those mentors and a system of personal development, I was challenged to see my worth, to face my past, and believe in the future that I could create. And little by little, the outer shell of who I had been started to crack. Now, it was painful, it was uncomfortable, but it was necessary. And when I showed up to the big event, just like the one we're in right now, an explosion took place, cracking my outer shell. And after the explosion of the big event, something new emerged, the real me, rooted, grounded, and in constant growth. Mr. Robeson, I think you can start the music now, because today I stand not just as someone who survived, but as someone who is thriving. My confidence didn't come from the outside. It grew from within. And just like a seed doesn't need to be planted in perfect conditions, I didn't need a perfect past. I just needed the right environment, the right support, and the belief that growth was possible. In the book of John, chapter 12, verse 24, it says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. To anyone still in the dirt," this message is for you. Those who maxed out credit cards to get here. Those who had to pick a hotel in Virginia to get here. Those who are sleeping 6 in a room. Those who are surviving on continental breakfasts. I say this to you. You are not buried. You are planted. And your time to rise is now. It's all systems go, baby. We're helping more people, more often, and in more ways. My name is Deshaun Smith, formerly of New Money, New Mexico, now proud resident of Houston, H-Town, Texas. My time is now. And if you believe like I believe, then I want you to repeat after me, my time is now. Let's go, LegalShield. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. Let's go. Let's go.
Man, what an event. For those of you that were there, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that weren't there, I'm so sorry you weren't there. But we know you'll be at the next one, right? We know we will see you at the next convention. Part of the convention this year, wow, we had a lot of training, a lot of fantastic training. Especially that PAVE system, right? That training was amazing. But we also had a full service breakout where we talked about the associate journey. It was something different this year. We didn't talk about like the learned knowledge, like how's this product work and how do you use this script to approach somebody. It was all about where do I go to get the right information as an associate. So as a new associate, when I start, what should I do first? Well, it's associate product training. And then what's the purpose of that training? What am I going to learn in that training? What's the next steps coming out of that training? Well, that would be Fast Start, right? And so we went through the entire journey so associates know where to start or where to go to get the information. For instance, if someone said to me, Melissa, I don't know how to use my prospect app. I'd be like, well, when was the last time you've been at Fast Start class? Because that's really where you learn how to use your prospect app, is Fast Start. Or if someone said to me, well, Melissa, I really don't know how to approach a business owner, I'd say, well, when was the last time you've been to the Small Business Small Group Certification class? Because that's where we teach you how to approach small business owners. So you'll know exactly, either for yourself or for your team, where to guide, right, yourself or that team to the right information, the right training that you need. And so that full service breakout, that associate journey, we created it where at the end you can snapshot our QR code and download the presentation. I am going to bring that up for you here in just a minute. But I want to kind of reinforce something we talked about during that training, which is our sales master classes and advanced product trainings. These additional trainings that we do monthly are really important for us to understand our product. The sales masterclass, you are going to learn the product of the month, product knowledge, whatever that product of the month is. You also are going to get some sales tips and sales scripts of marketing that product. Which marketing resources do you use for that product? And then we're going to role play and do some interactive Q&A. Whereas APT is a little different. APT is a very, very detailed product training, really getting into the nitty gritty of the product, really understanding what is included, what is excluded. I mean, it's really something that we all should attend so we have the confidence in talking about our particular products. Now, the Sales Masterclass, it's taught monthly, except on the months where we have APT. It's 90 quick minutes, virtual, very interactive virtual class. You can find us on the LegalShield calendar. You don't have to register. Show up at chatwiththepros.com on that particular Saturday. It's 60 minutes of that product of the month training and then 30 minutes of Q&A. And then we record them so that you have a library of trainings on your product. And you can get that in LS Engage, training, and then Sales Masterclass. Where the APT, well, it's, as I mentioned, is slightly different. We do a 3-hour Zoom, and it's taught by 3 of our regional sales and training council, and 1 of our or 2 of our provider attorneys will join us. The next one's coming up is May 17th. You have to register for this one. This one's different, as I mentioned. So we want to make sure that you go ahead and you register for which one of the 3 advanced product trainings that we host on May 17th you want to attend. We'll kick off at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we'll kick off a second one at 10 a.m. Central, and then we'll kick off a third at 10 a.m. Pacific. So please register for the one you want to attend. And our associates and our family in Canada, you can go ahead and register on the Canadian QR code, and then you let us know which one of the 3 trainings you'd like to attend. And by the way, at the end of that training, we're going to have a drawing. We're going to give away 2 $100 value swag kits from Staples, as well as a pass to one of those regional events that Mr. Don Thompson has started to promote, which is going to be fantastic. It's like little mini conventions as he goes across the country. So make sure you get registered, you and your team. And then also, if you want to download the entire associate journey, right? I just gave you a little snip, if you will, or a clip, if you will, of what we taught on Sales Masterclass and APT. What's the purpose? How do you find us? But if you want to see everything in that journey, go ahead and download the slides by going to this QR code so you can make sure you have that for yourself and your team. And as wrapping this up, we also did talk in that journey, the incentive journey for a Ruby associate. And what's a Ruby associate? Well, we teach that in that training as well. But basically, anybody that's not a Sapphire, Emerald, or licensed agent, you are a Ruby, and you're eligible for these bonuses. We did go ahead and add additional incentives to the existing bonuses or incentives that are out there. For instance, on your new groups open, we reset the 90 days. So if you have not opened your first group as a Ruby associate in 2025, hey, get back to that SBSG training and we'll reset that 90 days. Many of you did that while we were actually at convention. And we also did the double bonus at level 7 in our Hit and Earn. But these are all the wonderful incentives that we have to offer to our associates, our Ruby associates. So please make sure you take advantage of that. I thank you for all the support that you've given myself and our Regional Sales and Training Council, our field trainers. And we look forward to seeing you at all of our trainings, all of our supporting events throughout the month of May.
Good morning, LegalShield family. Are we excited yet? All right. Well, Kim, Mark, and I are super excited to introduce you officially to LegalShield Cares. As Warren introduced, LegalShield Cares is really about a collaborative movement of making a difference in the lives of people around us. LegalShield's always been about more than a business. It's about a movement and a culture of helping other people. Agreed? LegalShield Cares grows out of that exact same passion. And at its core, LegalShield Cares is all of us working together to impact our communities and beyond. Because together, all of us can do more than any one of us individually. It's in our DNA as a company, and it's in our hearts as associates. We're going to be focused on two primary things with LegalShield Cares. The first is to promote, support, and encourage those community service efforts that are already happening and will continue to grow those efforts. So for example, Kai Deering and LegalShield Associates in the Bay Area recently held an event to help with Operation Care and Comfort to prepare care kits for our deployed troops. Chris Ward and associates in Denver regularly volunteer at places like the Mile High or the Food Bank of the Rockies. And the home office staff, as Warren said, have gotten together to help those affected by the Ada, Oklahoma tornadoes. But that's just a few of the dozens of things already going on across our nation and in our communities, and it's only the beginning. These communities-focused events are really a time for you to get together and build relationships with your other associates while making a difference in those communities. So to support that, we're working on resources to help support your efforts, to celebrate one another, and create new opportunities together. Several regional vice presidents have already stepped forward to become ambassadors for LegalShield Cares to provide encouragement and support for those efforts, and you'll hear more about that in months to come. But with that, let me turn it over to Kim to talk a little bit more about our secondary focus.
All right. Hey. Thanks, Mike. I'm Kim Melia, co-founder of Work, Play, Love, and this is a dream come true for the LegalShield community. LegalShield not only provided us, our family, with an amazing financial opportunity, but it helped a lot of us find our purpose and passion, and I'm tremendously grateful for this. Another big part of LegalShield Cares is the ability to impact beyond our communities, right, alongside with nonprofits that have come directly from our LegalShield community. So in these early days of LegalShield Cares, we've chosen to focus on this impact by helping to raise funds for these three nonprofits. You've probably heard of them before, but these are the first ones you'll hear about that have sprung directly from this. So let's hear about who those are. First of all, there's our new logo. Work, Play, Love is a charity dedicated to helping children and orphans in Mexico and Guatemala. And also, you probably heard of Fertile Ground, a nonprofit dedicated to community service and support in the Baltimore and DC area and the East Coast and internationally. They've done so many amazing things, from coat drives to toy drives to turkey drives. I mean, so many things that Mr. Humes and Mr. Self has done, so it's amazing. Also, maybe you've heard of this one. If not, the Nikki Stonecipher Foundation. The Nikki Stonecipher Foundation is, Nikki was the granddaughter of Mr. Stonecipher, our founder, and this charity was founded in her name to support deserving scholars attending East Central University, which was very near and dear to his heart. They actually, this is really cool, they help at least one student go through university, and they pay for everything. Everything. Their books, their food, their lodging. I mean, it's amazing, right? It's really amazing. So we are grateful that LegalShield, the board, has decided to match, thank you, has decided to match, like you heard, $100,000 between now and midnight on Sunday. So for these three causes. So here's the best thing. I like to put it in bite sizes. How can we do that as a team? Because some of you, like Michael Humes, can donate, you know, 20,000 right there. Or we can have every single person here, if possible, donate $20 to $25, which equals about, because there's about 5,000 of us, which equals 100,000. So that's all we got to do to match it to receive those funds. So some of us can give a little bit more, and some of us, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. But whatever you can do, I want you just to know that you can trust LegalShield Cares, that the money is going to go where it's supposed to go. You can learn more about the charities. You don't have to wonder, does you know, 80% go to salaries, or does it actually go to the kids and go to the people who are in need? So just make sure you know that's why we're here. So, but now let me turn it over to you, Mark, so he can talk to you exactly how to do this, how simple it is. All you got to do is...
Thanks, Kim. I'm Mark Conlon. I have the pleasure of serving as LegalShield's Chief Technology Officer, and I'm honored to be on the steering committee for LegalShield Cares. And as Kim has mentioned, we're focused on 3 incredible community-grown nonprofits: Work, Play, Love, A Fertile Ground, and the Nikki Stone Cipher Scholarship Fund. So we have a very simple platform for you to give through your phone, and it can start right now. So let's get it up on screen.
It's right there.
There it is. Ah, great. So you can use that QR code. It'll take you to the fundraising site, or you can text LS Cares to 53555, and you'll be sent a link to go to that fundraising page. Each of the page has more information about each of the foundations and charities. In addition, if you aren't sure which one to give to, you can't decide, you can donate to you can choose the LS Cares preferred distribution. On the screen, that's a fancy way of saying we'll divide the money and send it to all 3, right? So, and remember, our board has given us a $100,000 match. So your donation today will have twice the impact. So let's thank the board again for those dollars. Thank you. Get your phones up, everybody. Let's do it right now.
Get your phones out.
You will see this QR code in other places out in the lobby. You will see it elsewhere this weekend. This is not your last chance to give. So, are we in the way? So one more thing. So we want to hear about what you're doing out there. We know there's a lot of good happening. You're doing service in your communities today. So please send us that information. Tell us what you're doing at lscares@pplsi.com. And thank you again for all being part of LegalShield Cares. It's going to make a huge difference and impact lots of people's lives and help others. And I know that we can do great things together. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We are the world.
Hi, Mindy Rogers here. My background is in nonprofit, worked in nonprofit for about 10 years, was also a preschool teacher as well. I do entirely employee benefits through benefits brokers at this time, have opened over 350 groups with LegalShield, and I'm just excited about how many women are high producers in LegalShield, high recruiters, and I think that this is such a great opportunity and a great company to be a part of. Thank you so much.
Hey team, Brad Walker here from Iowa, and I am thrilled to kick off this next recognition segment. At LegalShield, we celebrate success right And today we're spotlighting our top 40 recruiters and top 40 producers who are under the age of 40. Let's give a massive shout out to everyone who's on this list and earned this honor, and keep pushing. I can't wait to see your name added as a top 40 under 40 throughout the year.
Well, what a show. And if you were in Baltimore, you know exactly why we have massive momentum right now. Hey, the call to action is very simple. Performance Club qualify this month. That is the main call to action, because not only does that get you started for your Performance Club bonus, it gets you started for your PC matching bonuses. It helps you level advance. It also keeps you eligible for the 2026 trip. You know, there's a lot of different steps you have to take for the 2026 hit and win trip for the Dominican Republic. But it all starts with Performance Club. If you don't Performance Club qualify in the month of May, you're out before you're even in. So make sure you Performance Club qualify here in the month of May. And of course, with our extension of the Build Your Dream bonuses, you want to make sure that you are focused on going senior director for the first time, executive director for the first time, helping people on your team do the same. So you go bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and beyond. So many exciting reasons to get into action right now. If you were in Baltimore, you heard me on stage talk about taking action. You know, last year our theme was dream bigger. This year our theme is build bigger. What's the difference? One word: action. So take everything that you've learned over the last week, put it into your goals, write your goals down, and take action in the month of May and make it the best month of your LegalShield career.